Good afternoon. My name is David Hayes. I am the Chief Trial Counsel for the Greene County Prosecutor's Office. And we are here today to announce that a Greene County grand jury has returned a 55-count indictment against a man named Brian Wiggins. Mr. Wiggins is an attorney from Mason, Ohio. The bulk of the charges in the indictment allege fraudulent activity related to the transfer of estate and/or trust funds from the estate of a man named Ronald Lentz. These were conducted by Mr. Wiggins when he was the attorney for the estate and he was the trustee for the trust. Mr. Lentz passed away in August 2018. The estate, including the trust, was valued at over $3 million. The beneficiaries of the trust include St. Jude Children's Research Hospital and Smile Train, an international organization that provides corrective surgery to children for cleft lip and cleft palate repair. The indictment also alleges theft from other victims. The total amount of the alleged criminal activity is over $2.1 million. Specific instances of money laundering are also alleged in the indictment. These refer to transfers of trust and estate assets for the personal benefit of Mr. Wiggins. And again, we're talking about monies that were earmarked for specific charities. These monies were spent on, among other things, real property, including houses, a car, a boat, gambling in casinos in both Las Vegas, Nevada, and casinos here in the state of Ohio, jewelry, payment of Mr. Wiggins' personal child support obligations, and even cosmetic surgery for a member of Mr. Wiggins' family. This investigation arose out of a report made to the Beaver Creek Police Department, and to my right is Detective David Holly of the Beaver Creek Police Department, who conducted a thorough and professional investigation that led to the filing of these charges. Detective Holly was aided by an interim trustee who prepared a report that is on file with the Greene County Probate Court. And this report painstakingly outlines the fraudulent activity that led to the charges in this case. If anyone has information regarding any other potential victims of Brian Wiggins, you are encouraged to contact Detective Holly at 937-427-5520. We want the public to know that the Greene County Prosecutor's Office takes these cases very seriously, and we will prosecute them to the fullest extent of the law. There is an arraignment scheduled with regard to these charges for March 6th, this Friday, at 1 p.m. And this case will be handled by visiting Judge Dan Hogan, who is retired from the Franklin County Common Pleas Court. Again, I would like to commend Detective Holly and the entire Beaver Creek Police Department Detective Section, who is led by Captain Fiorita, who is here to my left. At this time, if you have any questions, I would be happy to answer those that I can.
Where is Mr. Wiggins currently?
Mr. Wiggins was arrested this morning and placed in custody.
Where was he arrested at?
Detective?
The Greene County Probation Office, the Greene County Courthouse.
Can you elaborate on some of the charges? Quite lengthy.
Well, I don't want to go too far outside of the indictment. The indictment states, as I mentioned, is a 55-count indictment, which the bulk of it is about theft and about transfers from the estate. And there are specific instances with regard to money laundering that I just went over a few of those. And those are also specifically outlined in the indictment, including the purchase of real property, the cars, the boats, the jewelry, the cosmetic surgery. Those are all set forth in the indictment.
Are any of these charges enhanced due to the fact that these monies were supposedly earmarked for not-for-profits?
No, the level of the offenses, and these are very serious charges, they allege theft of $1,500,000 or more, and that's a felony of the first degree by itself. And each count of money laundering, and there are several, are all felonies of the third degree.
What type of time would he be facing if found guilty as charged?
If found guilty of all of the charges alleged in the indictment, he could be facing potentially over 70 years in prison.
What initially raised red flags to the department?
Well, again, not getting too far into the details about who made the referral, because we can't do that. But Detective Holly was contacted by a concerned party who had a connection to the estate and the trust. And that person expressed their concern to Detective Holly, and Detective Holly took it from there.
Well,
Was the national charity just St. Jude?
There were two, St. Jude's St. Jude's Research Hospital and Smile Train. Those were the designated beneficiaries of the trust.
How does this compare as far as some of your theft charges that you've actually received indictments for?
Well, as I mentioned before, the amount of theft that is alleged to have taken place here is over $2.1 million. Fortunately, it is not common for us to see this type of theft with regard to estates and trusts here in Greene County, especially by a person, as Mr. Wiggins was, who was connected to the estate and the trust in a professional capacity. So it's not common. We don't see it very often, but it is a remarkable amount of money that was stolen, that's alleged to have been stolen by Mr. Wiggins.
What type of law does he specialize or practice in?
My understanding is that he obviously works in probate and estates, but beyond that, I don't have any information.
Are these related to the previous indictment from 2019?
This is a superseding indictment.
Are the charities able to bring forward their own charges as they were the intended beneficiaries of the money?
Well, I would refer you to the charities themselves, specifically to their legal counsel as to how they seek to proceed. They perhaps could have civil remedies, but we are the agency that will be pursuing these criminal charges against Mr. Wiggins.
Do you have a bond recommendation?
The bond was set at $1 million. Does anyone have any other questions?
Yes, for the possible detective, do we know when is he, you said he resides where?
Mason, Ohio.
Okay, and then I saw where there was a Dayton, Ohio address, 45419 on Devonshire?
It's a former residence of his that he sold, so he's down in Mason now.
Okay. Married, kids?
He is married, has some children from previous marriage.
If no one has any further questions, I truly appreciate your time this afternoon. Thank you very much.
Can he still practice law while under an indictment?
With regard to issues related to his license, I would refer you to the disciplinary counsel with the Supreme Court of Ohio. Thank you. Thank you. And